Brown Chicks, and this episode of Watch and Review, we are going to discuss all things Bravo, Real Housewives, even a little bit of Married to Medicine, Andy Cohen. It's getting real messy over there on the Bravo department. So the first thing I wanted to start off with was Monique from Real Housewives of Potomac quitting after the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion. Did you guys see that?
So, so I personally did not watch the full reunion. I watched the first two, and to be honest, I felt like that second one was a reach. I hate when they drag out those reunions for like multiple episodes and nothing is really discussed. I never went back and watched the last one because I was just so irritated with the second one. But I am personally hurt. I don't know if I ever shared this on here, but low key, Monique was my favorite castmate on the show. I don't agree with everything that may have occurred throughout the season, but I do, me personally, feel like they was giving her a hard time. Like, yes, she grabbed a girl's wig, she pulled it, like she regretted what occurred, but I just feel like they were kind of ganging up on her throughout the season. And I don't know if I'm gonna watch it anymore. I honestly feel like this might be the beginning of the end for the Real Housewives.
The whole franchise, though, or just the Housewives of Potomac?
I personally think it might be the entire franchise, and I only say that because Real Housewives of Atlanta premiered the beginning of December, and I only watched the first episode. I still haven't gone back and watched any of the other episodes, so I feel like there's going to need to be a major rebrand or some type of shift, or maybe they, I hate to say this, maybe get rid of or, respectfully dismiss some of the older castmates on some of the franchises and bring in just a newer, younger, fresher audience with new content because some of the storylines are starting to get old. It's the same thing every couple seasons, a breakup, a makeup, a baby. Like, I don't know. I just need something different.
I agree. And I feel like I hate when they pick someone to kind of bully in a sense. I feel like Portia was that girl. It's like, y'all know what's going on behind the camera. So you provoke someone to their breaking point. And then, of course, like, yeah, if cameras in my face, I'm not about to keep letting you fling something in my face and you're like provoking me. So it's like they provoke them. And then it's like, that's the one who they kind of take down this like toxic emotional roller coaster. Like now that they're, kind of in the limelight, it's like they're like, okay, so now we got you where we want you. We're going to put you in this position so that you can get, cyber bullied and all that kind of stuff. And I just don't like that. Like, I think it's so stupid, like, because it could have been prevented if you really didn't want her to be, you know what I mean? Like aggressive or anything like that. So, yeah. I also agree with they have to switch it up. Like it's just they have to switch it up because they have to understand that where they grab that audience from is when these women were much younger. So you can't keep these same women thinking we want to like no, like at some point it becomes you're too old to be doing this. That's just really what it is. And it has nothing to do with age. It just has something to do with more of like a maturity level. Like you're just too old to be doing this at this point. You're too old to be letting a cameraman provoke you to the point of knocking out somebody at 45. Like that's just it's not okay.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like, especially after them coming out with Real Housewives of Salt Lake, it's just like y'all giving real desperate housewives. That's what y'all giving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't turned back to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City either. And I feel like every time there is a new franchise, it has not been able to capture me. Like Potomac was the one that the newest that actually like I got on board with. But like they had a Dallas, never saw that, not watching Salt Lake City. It's just like I feel like I'm not interested in new housewives and the current housewives that you already have. I'm not interested in their lives anymore as well. So unless there is a shakeup, then it's like I don't even want to watch the show.
Yeah, they should definitely like rescale and see what it is like viewers are looking for nowadays. Maybe if they even start scanning social media platforms and stuff, because I really want to know what is the casting like behind these shows. I want to see like more multicultural. Like I would love to see like an Arabian Housewives or like something really cool where it's a culture that we never really seen on TV and we really want to learn more about and see what is their family life like and their marriages and stuff. I'm tired of seeing these old washed up privileged people talk about how rich they are and how much they spend their money. I want to see something else.
Yeah, and I'm with Shay too, just about just seeing a different culture and also just having them find people different ways. Like I feel like usually when a new housewife comes on, it's like, oh, so I was friends and I used to do movies back in the 80s with such and such, and I just moved to Atlanta. And so now I'm on, and it's like, we don't need to see a bunch of y'all friends. Like that's why you have friends of the show. Let's find other castmates that will make this like a show.
Yeah. So I know Jazz had mentioned something about them selecting a cast member and it turns into like almost like a bully type situation. And we know like how Nene in her situation, I think she was asked back to the show, but the contract wasn't right. So that's why she didn't take it. She's planning like a whole stand up against Bravo movement because she said there's a lot of discriminatory behavior behind the scenes. And even Mariah Huck, I think that's her last name, from Married to Medicine, she's also suing Bravo because she said not only did she ever not get her her royalties, because that show concept was actually her idea, but then obviously they never even asked her back to the show. And she said there was also some discriminatory practices as well. So I'm interested to see more about what in particular really goes down behind the scenes of Bravo production and Housewives.
I also do agree that it was kind of messed up that they ultimately kind of literally like asked her out of Married to Medicine when, like she mentioned, it was her concept. She was an executive producer. She was the one that originally brought all of those women together. And I'm very curious to see what is going on with those contracts behind the scene. Like, is it like a Bravo thing? Is it like an Andy thing? Because I know a few people have made sly remarks about Andy and where he stands on some of the stuff. But I think it ultimately comes down to, we hear this all the time in the entertainment industry, these major corporations and brands kind of exploiting Black women, their storylines, and you know what I mean, bringing in tons of money. And this is probably to Nini's point, being real shiesty with the contracts and the money, when my life, this is my entire life, everything about me. You guys want full transparency. Someone told me like they literally sign up to like wear those mics all the time and do all of this stuff. And then not only am I giving you my life, but I'm putting the editing in someone else's hands to create whatever narrative they want. I think that's a lot to ask for someone if you're not going to compensate them properly. So that's my 2 cents.
That's what I was going to say. That was my thought. I don't, that's one of the biggest reasons I was like, I would never be able to be on reality TV because I feel like they make you what they want to make you. And unfortunately, for Black women, I feel like it's like, we're going to make you as the world sees you. Like, this is what we're going to put out so that when, Real Housewives franchise as a whole, that's where you see it the clearest. And, just things like Married to Medicine, I just feel like it's a different outlook. I feel like, because these are doctors and wives of doctors in Atlanta, it's like, let's make them out to be what we want them to look like, which I'm not saying that's not how their personalities are, but I think we all know, that editing can be a lot and it can make or break that person.
Yeah, speaking of editing, Shani had said something earlier about how Andy was getting heat, and she also had mentioned like she felt like the reunions were drawn on, and a lot of the comments where they felt like Andy was pretty much taking Candace's side during the reunion. It seemed like he was making a lot of snide comments to Monique on Candace's behalf, but what he said was there was actually more, that he wanted it to be 4 parts because on more unedited footage, he said he actually he was doing the same thing to Candace as well, but we didn't see that because they didn't air it. So like you guys were saying, editing is key because it really changes the perception or the narrative of a whole story.
They do this every season. They do this with every franchise. You can really definitely see the differences between the franchises that are like predominantly or absolutely white cast versus the black ones. Like, yeah, they have some messiness, but they don't like make the whole show about them being in fights with each other. You know what I'm saying? It's mostly surrounded around like their business projects and like things that they are doing with their families and stuff like that. Like when I looked at the Salt Lake, like literally all they did was exploit their businesses. And you don't really see any of that on Housewives of Atlanta. Like sometimes you might see them in a store, but it's literally like for 5 minutes out of the entire season or something. It's never like them actually trying to promote them or doing anything like that. It's just like, okay, here's the black messy girls. They like to spill drinks on each other and talk mess about each other. And really, a lot of them have said being on the show, they actually formed like a sisterhood. A lot of them are really close. And you will see two people that's technically fighting or in an argument during a season, but they literally be on each other's social media kicking. So
I think that's why the first episode, the premiere of the Housewives of Atlanta, kind of rubbed me wrong because I feel like they really highlighted big on Portia and, you know, her part in the George Floyd and all the protests going on. They highlighted on that so much. And that's something that they've never done. You know, it's like you can tell it's just like this movement happened and you want it to be in. So for the moment, you're highlighting that, but then it's going to take a quick turn when she's in this bachelorette scandal at the end of the season. And I think that's when you're going to be able to see, you know, and that's how they're going to keep everyone watching and then do that quick flip. And I guarantee you the reunion talks more about that than they do about her part and everything that she was doing.
Well, that's already drama because Kenya already has made a statement saying that she feel like Portia does it for the show. So I'm sure that'll definitely come up on the reunion. So,
which I'm sorry, nobody's going to jail and stuff for no show.
For no show.
Portia, that's the thing.
I said, especially when the check's not good.
The checks are not good. Like, this is, rather she's on the show or not, this is real stuff going on. So she's not going to put herself in those situations just for the show. It's reality TV. She could have did anything if she wanted to be popping on the show.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys though, if the four of us was to do like a reality TV show, what could you see, like what type of show would it be?
Well, it would be a lot of motherhood. It's BS in the background, that's for sure. Because our kids it would definitely show how catering we are to our kids. I feel like in my household, y'all would see me and my daughter interacting and be like, what the heck is even going on over there? I feel like at Shani's household, y'all would be amazed at the level of patience she has with her daughter. And then I feel like in Jazz, I will also be doing a whole bunch of random stuff. Shay would be giving like a whole bunch of different classes. They would show her like doing her services and like doing a meditation group session and like doing all her spiritual shit. They wouldn't know what to show Shani because they'll be like, well, Shani really doesn't give us much. They would just have to show Shani like cooking or like doing one of her little high. They would really be fishing for time from Shani's life. I think it would be funny though. I think it would be entertaining.
Honestly, if I allowed someone like a camera or microphones to follow me all day, I think the audience would be pleasantly surprised at all of the stuff that actually occurs over here. But I definitely think our show would attract a very diverse audience because we are so different. Like we come together for this and we have very similar interests and passions, but our personalities are like completely different. So I'm sure we would bring in like a very diverse audience for sure.
Agreed.
I think the same. And I think it would be interesting though, because just to see like the different dynamics, I always tell people just like how sometimes I feel like I'm being like a robot through my like daily life, but I'm also like, you just sometimes as like moms, especially, and we don't see it from the outside, we're living it. You don't see like how much grace you have, or like sometimes I'll be on the phone with my mom and like Kate, that'll be going crazy, and she'll just be like, "You're so much more patient than I thought," and like just doing that, and I think just knowing that she's proud, knowing that it's from a place of also like I don't have her here to send her over and just to watch your child be a mom, and then like even listening to like Bianca and Brie, it's like knowing Bianca from so young, her and Brie are so different, but they're also so much alike. But it's always just interesting, like seeing that. And then with Shani, I always tell Bianca that I feel like Shani has the most perfect little daughter, because you never hear her, like even when they've been filming the podcast and Shani be like, she right here. And I'm like, dang, she was quiet for a long time. Like, and that's just interesting. And then with Shay and her like take on motherhood, I always love when she like posts her kids, and you can just tell that she's like that mom that like allows her kids to have freedom, but at the same time is very structured. And I admire like all different styles of motherhood, but seeing everyone's and knowing that all of our styles is so different is cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we learn from each other all the time though, which is really cool because, as friends, it's like you have your parenting style, but sometimes you do have to pick something up from your friend. Like, you know what? I'm going to try that because these kids be trying me lately. I think if we had a show, it'd just be called like Black Moms. Like, more like a sitcom than a reality show. Like, it'd be super funny.
I think it'd be super funny.
The only other thing that I think would be outside of like the mothering aspect that would be hilarious would be the dating side or the relationship side.
Oh yeah, that would be.
That's what this beautiful like engagement and wedding, and then I can't speak for Shay, but I know me and Bianca be going.
Yeah.
I think you guys know the background of our history. I think that for sure we would get a ton of views just for me and Bianca alone.
Agreed.
100%.
I'll be like, wait, hold up now. Wait.
Yeah.
For sure. One day we're gonna tell that story, and I'm telling you, it's definitely gonna be entertaining.
Maybe a ladies' night. Y'all better stay tuned. Make sure y'all subscribe.
All right, so that was our take on the messiness of the Bravo Housewives drama, plus a little insight of what y'all might see in the future when our show get picked up and we get this reality show sitcom style. So let us know what you guys think in the comments. Like, comment, and subscribe, and be sure to check out all our other segments. And then you got to keep watching the show to see if we don't let y'all in on a little secret. But y'all got to watch though. Maybe at the ladies' night.
If you guys want to know the story that Bianca and Shay are referring to, give this video a thumbs up and comment. I want to know.
Yeah,
I want to know.
Enough, yeah. Maybe if we're gonna.
And then if enough people comment, we might drop it on a ladies' night. We'll let you know.